Cold brew got me like.
Hey! Hello. Welcome to Cold Brew Got Me Like, the TV show. So how are you guys doing today? How are the Gimlins? How are you power directors? You guys having a nice time so far? We've only been on the air for about 2 seconds, but I like to check in with the Gimlins and see how they are. So I hope the Gimlins are good. I hope the power directors are good. Okay. So we're gonna just we're doing good. This thing is moving. So we're on the screen. I can see everything on the screen. You guys are in for a treat today because it looks like it's gonna work. We're good for launch. We're like Eric, our technical director, is like Elon Musk, and me and Greg are SpaceX. And this is a go. Greg, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I am here. I'm with you in the studio.
Good. Okay, cool. So Greg is in the Raiders locker room, and I am here in my traditional I'm here in my warehouse with my one water ski. Have you ever water skied, Greg?
I went to Tahoe to do it once, and it was too cold, so I never got in the water.
What's funny is I water skied a bunch, and it seems like a highly unlikely thing for me to do, but I did it kind of a few times, and I don't mind it, except I don't like it when the boat, when you fall off and then the boat has to come around and you have to dangle in the water there. No matter what water I'm in, I picture, sharks looking up at my feet. And I always picture my feet looking really white. And I don't know what they like to eat that's white, but probably like I figure my legs look like jellyfish tendrils or some shit like that. So I'm sure a shark could eat the fuck out of a jellyfish. That's probably like a jalapeno popper to a goddamn great white shark. Yeah, so I figure I look like an injured man of war when I when I stop water skiing. So and that happens every time because eventually you're gonna crash. You ever seen that barefoot water skiing, Greg?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had an opinion about it.
No, I don't have any opinion about it. I just know this. I know this comedian out in Los Angeles that I met. Her name is Ree Versteeg, and she moved back to Sweden, I think. Or God damn it, I don't know the difference between Sweden, Denmark, and Finland at all. And I interchange them freely. But I think she's from Sweden. I'm actually 100% sure she's from Sweden, and she's the world champion barefoot, or she's the national, or like she said something. It was like I think it's the national champion barefoot water skier of Finland, or of Sweden. And I just thought that was interesting. Anyway, that's I'm acting like there's no show. I'm killing time. You guys want to hear about barefoot water skiing? So anyway, why the fuck am I even talking about water skiing? Yes, it's because there's a water ski right behind me. And yeah, I've never done a single ski. That's like the next thing. You kick off a ski and then you get on one ski if you're, especially white. It's a very I'll tell you one quick story about that, about being white and water skiing. I went water skiing once with this German guy I didn't know. I was like at a barbecue or something, and it was like everybody went water skiing, so I went out on this boat, and my friend Sam was piloting the boat, and this guy Sam works in film, like he's a key grip. And so this other guy was like a cinematographer or some shit, and all these people in film have an attitude, even if they're just like, sweeping up around the set or whatever, they're still like got a big attitude. And this guy, so a typical film crew, kind of energy at the barbecue, like everybody just like being cool. And so I went water skiing with these people. And anyway, I didn't think about it too much. I'm pretty pale. I look especially pale on this live stream. I'm not as pale as this, I don't think. This is the pinkest this light will go. I got this. Our brother David Crofton gave me a halo light for my birthday. So that's what I have here. This is like a halo light. Oh, I'm going to do a little behind the scenes here. Look at this shit.
It's like a light shower.
Yeah, but it's like, it is like, it should be kind of cool if you can. Oh, they should do those. They must do those for porn. They probably do that for porn where they have like a shower head in the middle of that. Or you could rig it up. Maybe I should do the whole show. Maybe I should do a whole show where I use a loofah. Well, you guys can vote.
So you're saying that the sex scene would be lit by a fake shower light?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the shower, you get a shower's eye view of the action.
Oh,
which in this case would be me just using a loofah.
I was just wondering if we have ever considered getting an EVP box and checking out the water ski room and seeing if we get any readings and whatnot.
That is a good idea. That's a really good idea. Here's the first thing that's going to happen, though, Eric. You're going to take your cut of the profits of this show and buy one of those, and then we're going to do it.
Deal.
All right, that was Eric. That was Eric Wilson, our technical director, the Elon Musk to our rockets that land back on Earth, and everyone fucking flips out. He fucking shot a rocket in the air and it came back, and no one even knows if that's good. They're like, I can reuse it. Everybody's like, yeah. Meanwhile, they don't have health care. But I got done water skiing, right? So I leave I go home or whatever. Actually, that's the longest story. I actually was driving a car that wasn't registered that I bought for $100. It wasn't registered. I had no insurance for it. Nothing. It was just a nude car. It was just a car that ran that I was just rolling down the highway in.
That's Tennessee style.
Yes, Tennessee style. Tennessee, that's legal though. Yeah. This was in New York where it's not legal to do that.
Oh.
It's called in Tennessee they call it riding dirty. In New York they call it riding nude. So so I left anyway. So Sam said after I left, the German guy said, "Who was that albino man?" Which I've just always enjoyed. But you know how Germans are. They think everybody's a fucking albino as a power move. Remember when Bill O'Reilly called? Oh yeah, forgot to Stumptown. Someone get in touch, and the Gimlins and the power directors here. Someone get in touch with Stumptown and tell them I'm fucking repping them hard and I'm not getting any free coffee. This cost me $5. I mean, it's going to make the show dynamite, but this is the real Elon Musk. So
Sam Severin in the chat room is saying uninsured king.
Uninsured king. That's nice. That means king is a modern way of saying that someone likes you if you're a man. And if you're a woman, it's a modern way you say uninsured queen. That would be thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam Severin, very much. And thanks for being here. So yeah, I
have one thing to say about water skiing as a very white person. You have to put in on so much sunblock that no matter what the experience will actually bring as far as pleasure is probably negated.
I know that's right. And you know what? That's the way it is for every experience outdoors for white people or for Irish people, I mean. And
I slipped off the tow rope. I couldn't even hold on to it.
Yeah, exactly. You're so greased up by the. I mean, I remember in the 90s when I was drinking and I was thinking like maybe one way I could make a living and be drunk was to invent something. I was like, I thought maybe I could invent, those like pump things that like insect sprayers use.
Yes.
Yeah. Like those little, they look like little, I don't know, like little, like pump up metal things that you have a sprayer that you pump
Put
it
on your back and you walk around the
yard.
yard.
It doesn't even have to be on the back, but I just remember a guy walking around with like on a handle.
Oh, the metal ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a metal one with a pump, and then they spray the fucking,
yeah, they got to pump it up before
rat killer on the foundation of the house or whatever. So I pictured that and I was like, I think that could be full of sunscreen and I could be at the beach and walk around with that and charge people $1 to spray them down like a, and I was going to call myself like, like, I don't know, like something like the sunburn exterminator or something. But luckily I got sober and I don't think about stuff like that anymore.
That could be That could be the sun can.
Yeah, I mean, that was what I thought. I also thought I could set up an above ground pool full of sunscreen and you could just go in it, and that would cost like $1. But I don't know how to rent it from the state park or whatever. You'd probably have to put it in a bed of a pickup truck. You could line the bed of a pickup truck and fill it with sunscreen, and I bet that'd still be a good idea. But actually making $1 at a time is not a good way to get rich. That being said, we will accept
like a Wet
Canaries.
n Wild with the sunscreen instead of water down the slide.
Yes. Like, oh yeah, that'd be fine. Like a water ride that was all sunscreen squirting instead of water. That'd be fine. Like a giant slide where you're done. Once you go down it once, you're all set for the day. But yeah, if you're not an Irish person, fucking hell, man. It's like to go outside and do anything. It's like you just it's like having a big sigh before you do it. They're like, hey, you want to go to the beach or you want to go to the fair or anywhere outdoors? You have to go like, well, I guess so. But it's like you want to ride in a convertible. You want to do anything fun. And if you're Irish, you have to be like, well.
I got to see if I have $15 for sunscreen first.
Yeah, that's why Irish people hang out in bars, because there's no sun in there.
That's right.
It's as simple as that. I mean, yeah, there's beer too, because they first went in there for shelter, and then they were like, oh, I might as well have a beer. And that's how Ireland just like, that was the downfall of Ireland. Bars were originally just like sun shelters. They were like, hey, since we got everybody in here hiding from the sun because Irish people are improperly designed for Earth, we might as well start serving drinks. And that was in 500 BC or whatever. And the rest is history. Next thing you know, they were like, and playing fucking mandolins and shit. And then everybody was like, what's the matter with Irish people? They're great storytellers. Their economy's a wreck, but they're great storytellers. They carry a potato in their pockets so they don't die. Eating is secondary to Irish people, by the way. Irish people are just like, get something in your stomach so you can go to the, to the pub.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cold
so
brew got me like.
Let's talk about the chat real quick. What do we got in there? Airbrush sunscreen. I can kind of see it if I get real close. It's a thing. It's a thing, someone said. Does that mean it's a thing for the exterminator thing or the above ground pool? Or like the big pool full of sunscreen? Or are you talking about the water ride that is squirting sunscreen instead of water?
I'm seeing no such thing as a healthy tan from Master John Burr.
Oh, wow. Master John Burr chiming in with the Anti-Sun Federation, whatever it is. John Burr's like just telling people general stuff. He's going to be like, don't eat too many carbohydrates. John Burr has left the show to be in the chat and give health tips. He's trying to be Dr. Oz. But I think he'd be a better Dr. Phil. Okay, spray on sunscreen. That's a real thing. Oh, I know about that. I know. But that was before. Okay, that's fair. I'm talking about 1993 when I was 24. They didn't have spray sunscreen. They just had the cream. And that shit just takes forever. And you're always going to miss it. You're going to miss some spot. And if you're an Irish person, that spot you miss will send you to the hospital.
Or it'll kill you when you're 70.
Yeah, whatever it is. You can't risk. The spray is much better. That was a huge development. I feel like, do you feel like that, Greg? Because Greg also gets sunburned. Greg is also Irish. He's in my same family. He's my brother, so that makes sense. You probably think spray sun stuff is good, right? Or I thought it was an improvement.
No, I don't like it because it creates a gas cloud that I'm likely inhaling. Because I'm always concerned about the health effects of sunscreen as well.
Okay, well.
I mean, I think the same of air freshener. So to me, I equate the two.
Air fresheners for the birds. Yeah, I don't like that. Stick ups and all that. I don't mess with that shit.
Well, anyway, let's get to this subject matter. This is our favorite, one of our favorite subjects. So I know yours.
So Master John Burr says Greg has you there, Chris. He's got to turn everything into a competition. We're not fencing, John. We're trying to entertain people for Canaries. Oh yeah, don't forget, we're not. Even though getting rich $1 at a time is not the best model, we will accept Canaries. And I know that people are like, who've joined the Patreon are like, this Patreon fucking sucks. And you are correct. But I think I've had a busy week. I'm trying to think of an excuse, but no, I have, well, I'm not really sure, but anyway, join the Patreon and I will step it up.
I'm raw guzzling cold brew, in case you didn't notice.
You are?
Yeah.
On a Tuesday? You got to work in the morning. Oh, he's winking. I like that. All right. So all right, we got a big treat for you guys. Eric really wants to talk to ghosts. Who said that? Aunt Kath says that. I know that's right. So, hi, Aunt Kath. Hi, Kate. So, listen, we're going to do some special stuff today. We're going to introduce you to a man that is very dear to my heart. I would actually consider him to be my real dad, the dad of my dreams. Ken Carter, no offense, Dad, but this man jumps automobiles, you can't really compete. My dad worked on Wall Street. This guy jumped cars, and he crashed them into other cars for his landing, which turns out is hurts. So this guy is named Ken Carter. He was known as the Mad Canadian. And we're going to ease into this because I could pretty much talk about Ken Carter for the rest of my life and everybody would just die in the Gimlin room. But what is he saying? If you can make him out in this deep throat lighting, someone make a gif of Greg winking. Oh, okay. John's trying to whip the power directors into a frenzy. Oh, good job. He's the hype man. John is like the guy who dances in the ska band. Except he's in the chat room. Or he's like Bez from Happy Mondays. If you're 100. You'll know what that means. He's like Bez from the Happy Mondays dancing in the chat room. Okay. So Greg is going to read the anemic, and I will tell you right now, this Wikipedia needs to be beefed up. It's almost like if Ken Carter died and didn't have a grave marker. Someone give him a beefier Wikipedia. So here's Greg.
You've described Ken Carter as what? A Canadian stunt driver? Have you said that yet?
I mean, in my way, I did. I used a lot of words, and I didn't really say much, but that's
he was born in 1938. He died. Well, I won't say when he died. He was born in 1938. He was born in Montreal. He grew up in a working class neighborhood and this is a small entry considering his career. With little education, he dropped out of school to perform car stunts with a team of traveling daredevils.
The Hell Drivers.
Hell Drivers, wow. Subsequently, he began performing as a solo act, and he jumped at racetracks all over North America. He became a notorious showman, earning the nickname the Mad Canadian for his death-defying antics. Would you like me to continue?
Is there more?
Well, it talks about how his life ended.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. Carter returned to, then it cuts to Peterborough jump and death. Carter returned to stunt driving on July 1st in 1983 when he attempted to jump a pond in Peterborough, Ontario. The jump failed when the car began to fishtail on the runway and ramp, which ultimately put him in the water. Carter vowed to try the jump again on September 5th, 1983, made another attempt. His car, a 1982 Pontiac Firebird fitted with a homemade rocket, overshot its target landing ramp and landed on its roof. Carter was killed instantly.
He didn't have any roll bars. He didn't have any roll bars in the roof of the car. The car was reinforced on the sides, but they had no idea that they didn't foresee it landing on its roof. So it had no roll bars in the roof.
That's crazy.
It just cracked. It just basically the car collapsed down to its doors when it landed on its roof. Like the roof just smashed Ken Carter.
Was that on the shore of the lake?
Here's the thing with Ken Carter is that he had a pretty long career for a guy who risked his life on a regular basis. He died when he was what? Does it say 43 45. Or something? Okay, 45. He had accomplished, a whole lot for a poor kid from Montreal who who dropped out of school to become a ramp boy. Think about that, a ramp boy. I mean, this is another born at the wrong time thing for me. And it's another time where you could say, Cold Brew got me like, go ahead and hit
Cold
it,
brew
Eric.
got me like.
Yeah, being a ramp boy is some Cold Brew action. So he ran away from home to become a ramp boy for the Hell Drivers. Back when you could make a living being a Hell Driver. During the same time, you could make a living by squirting people at the beach with an exterminator can full of sunblock. I know John Burr will like that because I made it come around. He likes that when you reference old stuff like a pro. So, anyway.
So when he was 16, he was at the racetrack drinking pull tab beers.
Yeah, and he was he's a very driven guy. I don't know that he's the smartest guy in the world. I don't know that that's maybe he doesn't seem like the smartest guy in the world. He's not dumb, but he's kind of that in between that makes like Axl Rose that makes you like a great, like gives you that ambition.
James Hetfield, yeah, that kind of guy.
Yeah, it's like ambition mixed with like enough intelligence to make like decent decisions, I guess, like sorta, you know what I mean? So Ken did some driving for the Hell Drivers. Started out as a ramp boy, then he became a Hell Driver, and the Hell Drivers traveled all around like the United States and in Canada in the late 60s, early 70s probably, and he was like with them. He also did stuff for the Joey Chitwood stunt organization. Joey Chitwood was a huge stunt driving. I mean, this is another born at the wrong time thing. This is back when you could make a living before the internet by driving around the country and just going to racetracks and putting on stunt shows. And you could make a living that way. It was a crazy living, crazy way to make a living. But Ken didn't have a lot of opportunity. There was a feature film made about Ken. And that's what we're going to someday, if this podcast, Cold Brew Got Me, like gets big enough and we do a live tour, everybody, every Gimlin in this room, every power director and us are going to get together and watch watch Devil at Your Heels, which is the name of the feature film about Ken Carter. That's probably my favorite thing that exists in the world. But before we get to that was when Ken Carter tried to jump a yellow Lincoln Continental across the St. Lawrence Seaway, which, if that sounds crazy, it is crazy. And he also doesn't know how to swim, so he died.
It's not as wide as you might think, though.
Well, the St. Lawrence Seaway is basically like the St. Lawrence River, but it's like half a mile across. And he had this idea where he was going to jump a Lincoln Continental and then he was going to steer it in the air with wings and then land it. And he actually he was so charismatic and driven that he actually got a bunch of people to like tell him that was possible and to help him build it. Like a lot of them were reasonable people. And they're like, yeah, do you believe that Ken can jump this car a half a mile and steer it in the air? And they're like, yeah, I don't see why not. He's very driven. He's extremely driven and very confident. I mean, if he can get it up there, this car, these pulleys I put in the car will steer it. I mean, if he gets in that position, I mean, he'll have to get a lot of speed up, a lot. He'll have to be going very fast to get it to where he'd actually be able to pilot it. But if he does get it there, I've put in these things that should control the car in the air. Anyway, it's that kind of shit. So here is, what is that? He wanted to die so badly.
Yeah.
That's what Aunt Kath says. First of all, I don't know if Aunt Kath knows about Ken Carter, but I think he wanted to live, but when he died, he was trying to jump this pond and he had already tried to jump it once and he went into the water and he just felt so bad that he had gone against his word. That was his main thing. He's like, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. He wasn't like Evel Knievel who did shit just because he was a sociopath. Ken Carter was not a sociopath. Ken Carter was a guy who he just liked attention. He was like a regular person who just liked attention and wanted to be a star. And he just didn't have any way to do it besides he dropped out of like junior high or something. I don't know.
He wanted to make his mark.
All right. So now we're going to watch
and also
short film. Huh?
Well, just people did take notice. I mean, he was around for 45 years, but in 2016, a musical docudrama by John Bolton called Aim for the Roses
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an album created by Mark Haney, both inspired by Ken Carter. And then The Devil at Your Heels was also released, the documentary from the National Board of Canada.
Yeah, Film Board of Canada.
Yeah.
Because they subsidize filmmaking, and I'm so grateful to the Film Board of Canada for The Devil at Your Heels existing. And the director of Devil at Your Heels is great. The guy who does the voiceover is great. The whole thing's beautiful. And Kath is saying he wanted to die so badly. Why would he do that? Get laid. Kate, I mean, get laid, get free beer. I mean, I tried to die for like 20 years just for free beer. Canaries. Yeah, and canaries. You don't get canaries. What does it say? Canada supports artists Kate, man. So yeah, supporting artists is good.
I'm supposed to be reading that.
Okay, yeah. All right, so here we go.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch a short film that will introduce you to Ken Carter. It's called The Mad Canadian, and we're gonna stop it, occasionally because it's good to stop and talk about. So thanks for being here, you guys. This is Cold Brew Got Me Like the show. I'm Chris Crofton. That's Greg Crofton. We got Eric Wilson.
And you're gonna talk over the film, right?
A little bit, yeah. Let's just like let it go a little bit and let's see what it looks like here. There's the Film Board of Canada logo, which I really like. And so this is a short film. Get ready, motherfuckers. Now we're talking. Fucking beautiful. Fuck the Fast and the Furious.
Is that him?
No, that's fans. That's fans. Sorry, stop it real quick.
Looking forward to it. Hope so.
Okay, those are like the first couple shots. That first like point of view shot of that car jumping from ramp to ramp is actually it's footage from the Devil at Your Heels, and that's actually like Ken's intern doing that jump. And that's Ken. That if you could hear, I don't know if you could hear it, but that guy going rah, 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 that noise that was happening during it.
Yeah.
That was Ken on the racetrack PA system while that jump was happening, just freaking out because he was so happy that his friend made the jump, because I guess secretly Ken probably thought he was going to die. So Ken was like, oh my God. Like he was just so happy after his assistant made that jump, because it was clearly crazy. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was insane. And he was so happy that it became obvious that he must have thought that the guy was going to die, because otherwise he would never have been that happy. I mean, he was like, oh my God. Oh, you did it. Like, and the flip side of that was, I definitely thought you were going to die. So the next thing that happened is a beautiful on film, picture of Jim, whoever that is, of Ken flying over these cars, and then he's going to land. The way he lands is he lands on more cars. So anyway, the whole thing's wonderful. And this is happening in Nova Scotia in like 1978. So you can only imagine Nova Scotia now has got to be weird, but Nova Scotia in 1978 is like, fuck. You know what I mean? That's like Murder City. It's got to be. This is like a farming community that's coming into the entering the 20th century still. I mean, Nova Scotia is remote.
Like so lots of hooked knives. Is that what you're talking about?
Whatever it is, a stunt show for them is like the internet. It's like Google Fiber. They're like, right. A stunt show in fucking Nova Scotia? Holy fuck. I'm going to fucking, they're all like there. Everybody in town's there. Probably the local priest, the doctor, everybody's there. So anyway, roll it back, and they're going to do some great interviews with some Nova Scotia locals from 1978. There
right, but my question was the white car, Ken Carter's in
that's
that
Ken Carter. Yeah, that's Ken.
Flight.
Yeah, that's Ken.
Okay.
The other point of view shit was his assistant, but that you got to watch Devil at Your Heels to find that out. I know too much about this shit. Roll it.
What are you expecting to see tonight?
Lots of action.
Yeah? You coming to see Carter?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
You think he'll make it?
Looking forward to it. I hope so.
Should have standing room only, I hope. Looks real good. I'm very satisfied with it. In Montreal, at home, we were rather short in the crowd. I don't know what it is. It seems like a hometown crowd doesn't respond as well, even for Knievel and wherever he performs. And when he gets to Butte,
Hold on.
Montana,
Pause it real quick. That's Ken. I just love that he doesn't get a good crowd in Montreal, so he heads to Nova Scotia. That's why if anyone's not getting a good response from their local market, just head to Nova Scotia. That goes for anybody now doing the same thing. Like you're having trouble getting a reaction in New York, head to Nova Scotia.
They just don't.
That's
What the
Ken.
reason is, but I sure am happy. Nova Scotia, they really turned out.
What are you expecting to see tonight?
I don't know. He may break his neck.
You think he'll break his neck?
I think so.
Please
Yeah.
pause it. Please
What a
pause it. I'm surprised you didn't say automobiles.
What did he say? I missed it.
He said action or something. I don't know what he said,
Okay.
but I mean, like machines. I don't know, people. I've been on my farm for the last 40 years. So this is just a night. I mean, this is incredible. It's the only thing I'm aware of that happened in Nova Scotia ever, I think. No offense to the Nova Scotians in the power
Yeah,
directors.
No, he may break
Oh,
his neck.
roll it if you could.
You think he'll break his neck?
I think so. Yeah.
What a beautiful evening. Look at the weather. Isn't this beautiful? 8 o'clock and the sun is shining. It's just beautiful.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Really.
I'm gonna
Just
be
look
quiet.
at this crowd.
You think this is an exciting thing?
Well, really, yes, it is, because I had other plans of going somewhere tonight, the wife and I, but no way. I said, we'll come here to see this because never seen it before. Never did.
There's Miss Nova.
Pause it. Please pause it. Please pause it. I'd like to say I'm sorry for any of the children of any of the men in this video. That man in that fucking fedora with the playing cards on it. I can only imagine how affectionate he was with his kids. They're probably like, Dad, can we go? He's like, listen, if you say one more word, I'm going to break every piece of furniture in this house on your head. Okay. I have a hangover. If you say one more word, you will live in the refrigerator. Okay. So anyway, this is Ken, and that is his assistant. That guy with the beard in the passenger seat is the guy that was piloting that car while Ken was going. Bah, 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 bah. Here's the best part. We're about to see these guys lined up. These are stuntmen at a racetrack, and they're like 5 of them are on crutches. It's the greatest visual you've ever seen.
Scotia.
Okay,
Isn't
I'm
it
going to
nice
stop
to have
talking
her
for
with
like
us
5 minutes.
Here this evening. Right at the last minute, and they're giving her the roses. Okay, we're about ready to go now. I'm just excited. I'm just really. The other door, please. The other door. The other door. Okay.
Thank you.
I think he's limping.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, he can't walk.
For 2 hours, we've had stock car racing, and now, of course, we're getting set to do the world record auto jump, which is over the tops of 15 automobiles with an automobile, equivalent to approximately 120 feet, depending on where I touch down. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, let it go now. Let it go.
He doesn't say land.
Okay.
What's that?
When you're doing
Pause it real
rapid
quick, Eric. I'm sorry.
He didn't say land. Notice he didn't say land. He said
No, he doesn't have an answer. He doesn't have a place to land. When he tries to jump the St. Lawrence Seaway, he just says he's going to land on the ground.
wherever I touch down.
Yeah, he said that when you guys eventually see The Devil at Your Heels, he's interviewed about the jump. And the guy's like, well, if you make it, where are you going to land? And he's like, are you worried about the trees at all? And obviously he meant, are you worried about running into the trees and dying? But Ken goes, well, we're going to do our best to avoid the trees. We don't want to damage any of the trees. We're going to try and head for the roses. Yeah, that's something we've thought about. We definitely don't want to damage any of the forest out here. So anyway, this is yeah, I'm going to be quiet again.
But no, he seems to be just completely lit up by the crowd.
He's so happy. That's the thing about, see, Evel Knievel would play it cool and he would try and have sex with everybody in the crowd. If this was Evel Knievel, he would just be doing this jump 100% so he could try and have sex with everybody in the whole crowd. And Ken is not here for that. Ken is here to be, to get the adulation, but he's kind of like a kid. He's got an infectious enthusiasm that I believe is, not sociopathic. He really likes the attention in a great way. He gets all fired up. See how upset he got about them not opening the right door of his car?
That was a big deal.
He got so upset. Yeah. And he also, I forget.
Not the right door.
We kind of talked over it. And he's like real worried. Like if I get out the wrong door, the crowd might leave. He's always afraid the crowd's going to leave, which I can relate to very much. And that's why when I solo stream on Twitch and I can see how many people are in the room, I fall apart. Because I'm like, anyway. So Ken.
But when the numbers are building, that feels good too, right?
Yeah. So Ken is also, they mentioned that something about the roses. There's like Miss Canada is there, or Miss Nova Scotia is there. That was like part of standard racetrack event operation, is you had to have some beauty pageant winner that was there just for no reason, wearing a sash that said like Miss Rubber Tire or whatever. Miss Pit Stop. Yes, exactly. So let's roll it.
Automobile, you do not have control. You regain control only when the car comes to, when it falls on the ramp or overshoots or undershoots. You do not have control any other way. There's a red line on that ramp. And if you're not on the red line when you leave, if you're 2 inches off here, you'll be 2 feet off there, 100 feet away, and you miss it. You just miss it. I do get high for the jump. You do get that adrenaline going, and that's what motivates you. That's what people come out there to see. There's the guy. He don't look crazy. You know what I mean? He looks like you and me. And they're coming out to see a man perform. Not to get hurt, but to do it without getting hurt. And that's the trick.
A man. They come out to see a man perform. Those are some nice looking cars. Those are the ones he's supposed to land on.
It's indeed a pleasure. It's been a long night. We've had some good racing, needless to say. Superman on the microphone here does a real good job. And everybody, I want to thank the staff, on behalf of all the management, Jim Corbett, his family, the constables, everybody. It's just been super. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank the constable.
I want to thank the popcorn maker.
Yeah, I want to thank the constables. They've been
beer
constabling their ass off. I want to thank whoever made this car. I want to thank the seat maker. These seats are,
Be ready.
I mean, they're not that comfortable, but thank you for making them.
Look at here, it's too high on my shoulder blade. Okay, let me try.
All right, that's Tom. I forgot his name. That's Tom. That's the guy with the beard. The guy looks like a fucking 1970s science teacher. Another runaway stepdad. There's so many children at home being like, where are my parents? And they're all fucking at a racetrack in the middle of the night. Oh, and by the way, the reason Ken is limping is because he keeps breaking his same ankle over and over again. And the way he does it is he breaks his ankle by smashing it into the transmission, which you'll see in a minute. Here we go. Ugh. Now remember, this is a successful jump, not an unsuccessful one, because people watching this in the Power Directors chat are going to say, this guy fucked up. But no, this is what's supposed to happen. That's Tom.
Jesus.
Easy on the foot is what you said. Look at that cameraman. Cold Brew got me like that cameraman.
Cold brew got me like.
From heaven to hell that quick.
All right, pause it real quick. I don't know if you're going to hear it, but at some point he tells the ambulance people to not be smoking because there's gasoline coming out of the car. But there's fucking people surrounding him right now with cigarettes in their mouth.
You got to look out for yourself.
That is, imagine smoking so much that you can't stop, like, to rescue somebody. Anyway, so what happens is he smashed his leg into the transmission. And I don't know how that happens, but apparently it's happened before because he says, like, smash that leg into the transmission again. So how's everybody doing in the chat room? Let's check in with them real quick. Are they enjoying themselves? Do they want me to shut the fuck up?
Unfortunately, I can't. Where I go to read the chat, I'm not getting it. So I have to read from the main screen, the live screen.
I can't see it. Can you see it? It says Mr. Does it say something about Suge Knight?
420 says all the paramedics smoked in the 70s.
Yeah, everybody smoked in this. That would include paramedics.
This score is cooler than that. Pretty sure this music is Robbie Krieger's Oil Slut.
Oh, there he goes. He's still trying to do it. Thank you. He's the only professional around here, I gotta say. Good job. I should have seen that. That would have been so great if I'd said that. But thank God John's there to say it instead. Oh. All the paramedics smoked in the 70s. Okay. Uh-oh, we're back to the beginning.
Thank you. Really? Thank you.
Oh, that's after he jumped. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, let's take it forward a little bit. Oh, nice. I see what you did.
Nice. Bam.
Good morning. That's me in the morning.
Yeah, it kind of looks like his safety feature worked, but he's still injured. I mean, weren't the cars the padding?
Well, yeah, he's driving a junk car, though. I mean, this is not a car that's, like, in any way prepared for this kind of thing. It's just a regular car. You know, he's driving a regular car, and he's wearing a helmet. But, I mean, the floor of the car, and if you see... All right, the first thing he said, I'm talking over it, but he said, tell them not to go away. His first concern was that the crowd was going to leave. So he asks for a microphone. Here we go.
Where's that microphone?
You got something for shotgun?
I don't need nothing. No. I want X-ray.
Right here. Just hold still. You're gonna be okay.
All right,
just relax, and we're gonna get
me
this
right out that window. I smell gas in here. Dad, watch the cigarette. Randy, where are you?
Don't smoke. Don't smoke. We got gas flying around.
I'm all right with that.
You got it? Okay. All right, a lot of people.
Watch the ankle, please.
Oh, fuck.
That's the one I
Oh, Jesus.
Right down in here.
Watch them cigarettes. Watch the ankle, please. Oh, shit, there goes that ankle again. Randy, Tom, where are you? Tom.
I'm right here.
How far did I get?
You got it. Last one.
I got the last one? Okay, take me over to the microphone, please. Is there?
That's the
Yeah, wait a
last
minute.
one.
Okay, please pause it. Okay. I just want audio of this to be played at my funeral. Just him saying, like, Randy. Like, I think everybody in 1978 was named Randy. He's just like saying everybody. That's like his way of addressing everybody. Like, stop smoking, Randy. And when I say Randy, I mean all the Randys. Stop smoking. Oh my God. Anyway, this is just the greatest. So he's like, he hurt his ankle, but he has a show tomorrow night. So his main concern is that he's afraid the crowd is going to tell other people not to go the next night because it's canceled. So he wants a microphone to say, I'll be back tomorrow night. It's just sprained. It's that ankle again, which he keeps saying as if anybody knows what he's talking about except for his assistant Tom. That guy with the beard. He knows what he's talking about. He's like, it's the ankle again, And then Tom goes, it's the ankle again, like to nobody. And then he says it to the crowd too. It's just my ankle again. And that's why he limps. He keeps breaking his fucking ankle. So he's going to tell the crowd not to worry. He'll be back tomorrow night, And when I broke my hip roller skating in 2018, as I was being loaded into the ambulance, my friend Johnny Fritz was filming me, and that's what I was saying. I was saying Ken Carter quotes because of this scene. I'll be back tomorrow night. Don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow night. He's an inspiration. He's also an idiot. Okay. Roll it.
Yeah, I know. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. Well, put a pillow on your head. No, all right. No. Ladies and gentlemen. It's the ankle. The one I broke in Houston. But believe me, we'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. They're just going to take me in an x-ray. I don't think it's broken. I think it's badly sprained. I slammed up against the side of the transmission. But believe me, we'll be back here tomorrow night. At 8 o'clock sharp, we'll be back here tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be okay. Look,
I fucking love that man for that speech.
Yeah, you take in the other end if you want to grab. Okay.
I don't know, man. It's his ankle again.
Oh my God.
I bet they added sirens to that ambulance.
You think so? For the movie? Like they only had like 4 lights on it? Yeah, for like the Nova Scotia. Like, what? You only have 1 light on your Nova Scotia ambulances? We're making a movie here.
No, I was thinking Ken Carter did.
Oh, he probably did. He's like, we gotta jazz this thing up. I'm leaving in this, definitely.
Yeah. This only has 1 siren?
Yeah, exactly. Can you put another one in? I mean, I'm definitely leaving in this. I leave every night in these. Oh, here we go.
Just get ice packs on it, it'll be okay. But it ain't broken, and I ain't kidding you. As bad as I don't want to cast, it's okay. It's just them pins have got to come out. That's all there is to it. I knew it, But other than that, it's okay. Swollen up, I can't walk on it right now, but it's all right. And I'd like to go home, really. It's just a bad sprain, and I just got to get it up.
Looks like a piece of hair.
He's insane. It's completely broken, and he's like just like trying to go out. He wants to leave the hospital. Did you hear him? He's like, I'm good. I just want to go home. It's definitely not broken. And it's like the more times he doth protest too much.
Plus, the expression on his face is priceless.
He just wants to go home. He's like a little kid. He's like, I want to go home. I'm just gonna go home now.
Yep.
And then we can go back and do it again tomorrow night. It's not
Look
broken.
at the dedication of Randy there shown on the screen in that freeze frame.
Yeah, that's Tom. Yeah,
Tom.
AKA Randy. They're all named Randy. And every single person in that audience is in jail now. There's no doubt about it. Every single one of those kids that they cut to after this jump, you imagine? They're all in prison. Don't you think? I mean, what was fun in Nova Scotia besides this in 1978?
Oncath says this guy's positivity is unreal.
Yeah. Well, that's because he grew. Those kids in the audience, like they were like, "You want to break and enter tonight, or you want to go see this car show? You want to huff paint, or I guess we can huff paint and go to the car show." I mean, imagine how boring it would be to be a teenager in pre-internet Nova Scotia. I mean, my God, those kids must have been huffing everything. Probably just like choking dogs. You know what I mean? They're like, let's choke the dog. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to do. Car show, the dog must have been. All the dogs in Nova Scotia breathed a sigh of relief when the car show came because they were like, oh, we're not going to get fucking chased around with a hatchet tonight. Anyway.
Are we able to, do you want to save the other jump? Because I really want everyone, I'm excited for everyone to see the second jump.
Are we shedding? Is everyone leaving?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like,
Well,
I
we
don't
could-
know if you want to save it or not because it's such a great piece of footage.
Okay, well, the next jump we were gonna look at is when Ken was on That's Incredible. I don't know if you guys remember that show, That's Incredible. Anybody who's old enough to remember That's Incredible. That's Incredible is like such a bright spot on the dial back then, growing up when there was 13 channels. That's Incredible was like stunts and people who ate tacks or whatever. I mean, any kind of, it was like Guinness Book of World Records kind of people being interviewed. I mean, it was mostly stunts, I guess. Like Kathy Lee Gifford, the host of it, was dating Dar Robinson. Like when stunt people could be celebrities back then, because there were only about 8 celebrities back then. It was like Burt Reynolds, Dolly Parton, and like Dar Robinson, the stunt man. And Dar Robinson went out with Kathy. Let's watch it. Let's watch it.
Well, I
Guys,
remember
is the-
what I remember most about the show. We watched it together, and it's when you had to sit on the wastebasket next to the television to change the channel, and was when the guy the yogi squeezed himself into the plastic cube.
Oh my God, you remember that too?
Yeah, that was the best.
What a moment. That's like one of the only things. I don't remember anything I learned in school.
That big.
Yes. On That's Incredible, a yogi, like a yoga person, not some modern yoga person who just like does downward dog while they're drinking sparkling rosé. I'm talking about a real yogi. Real yogi who crammed himself into a fucking plastic cube and like stayed in it for like he's gonna stay in it the whole show. It was like one of those kind of things.
Well,
and it like steamed up.
Too.
Yeah, it was like it was steamed up. He was in this steamy cube. I mean, he talk about born at the wrong time. That guy could get laid. He could be running a yoga cult now. Back then, he had to go on a TV show and get in a cube and probably get like $80. Man,
well, I think it lasted the whole episode, which was an hour, and they'd be like, "All right, his leg and his arms in."
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
now
right.
Now, once he was in, it was terrifying.
Right, and they were like, "He's not using any grease." Wait, is he smoking? He's asked for a cigarette. He's smoking inside the cube.
Jamie, I'm John Davidson. Tonight you'll be seeing incredible stories like these.
28 years ago, a dying woman found new homes for her 10 children. It was a final act of love. Tonight, you'll see the reunion of this family nearly 3 decades later.
I'm Fran Tarkington.
Stuntman Ken Carter is about to take an amazing drive. He'll attempt to leap over a 2-story house in a jet-powered car.
I'm Kathy Lee Crosby.
Stuntman in all of Canada. In 1977, he performed a ramp-to-ramp car jump of 124.7 feet.
Tonight, Ken's out to perform a first in the field of car jumping. He's going to attempt to clear a 2-story house. Will he make it?
Ken will literally blast off in this attempt.
What we have here, stock Chevrolet car, and directly behind me in the trunk is the rocket-powered motor that develops 10,000 horsepower. When it's ready, I just reach
Can you please hit Cold Brew Got Me Like?
Cold Brew Got Me Like.
down here as a go handle. Push that go, and the car is gone.
A large crowd has gathered for this unprecedented event. And now, finally, everything's ready. And the countdown is on.
A go handle.
The car is gone.
You're not going to believe this shit. This is incredible. Not to overuse the...
The rocket car is badly in need of some body work, but Ken, the mad Canadian Carter, is perfectly all right, thanks to his safety equipment.
Psych, too.
That was his fine performance for sure.
Watch the car's
Must have
wheels.
been.
They slip off the ramp, starting the car rotating in midair. This prevents Ken from making the perfect four-wheel landing he'd hoped for. But Ken did clear a 2-story house with a 150-foot jump.
Ken had only 150 feet in which to accelerate to 80 miles an hour. The margin for error was paper thin.
Cold Brew Got Me Like.
But Ken Carter still accomplished the demanding task he set for himself.
All right, pause it. Can you pause it and leave that up? What a beautiful shot that is. Look at that. That is pre-internet life. And I want you all to soak it in because I got to live it. And so did Greg. This is back when the only thing happening was dice games and people jumping over houses in rocket cars. And it wasn't that great, honestly. You guys are lucky to have the internet because the only problem with a rocket jump is you can't look at it while you're in a long line. So the good thing about phones is you can look at them in a long line. I suppose, yeah, and you can watch rocket jumps while you're waiting in line at Trader Joe's or whatever. So back then you had to just like talk to whoever was in line, which, you know, no one does that anymore. But anyway, so I love that this guy said Fran Tarkington is an ex-football player. And Kathy Lee Rigby was that, or Kathy Lee Rigby, that's her name. Kathy Lee Rigby.
That's it. Yeah.
She was an ex-athlete of some sort too. So like,
that's right. Yeah.
It was like the host of That's Incredible. Yeah. Something like that. That's Incredible is staffed entirely by ex-athletes for some reason. Another problem with now there's no jobs for ex-athletes. Like, there were a lot of game show host jobs available. Now celebrities take all of them. You could be a man off the street and host a game show back then. I mean, now you have to already be like Ellen or, you know, Will Smith or something can host a game show. But back then it was just like, you know, guys with good mustaches. You know, you could host a game show. Joker's Wild Guy, you know, it was like a blue collar job. Hosting game shows was like a blue collar job. Back then. It was like a union job. Anyway, I just love that Fran Tarkenton says there was a razor thin margin of error on this jump. And yeah, he did all the errors. He landed on, I mean, I know for Ken Carter, see, he's used to landing just like on the ground. You know what I mean? Like he always misses the ramp. He just like lands on his car. Do you know how painful it must be to go in a regular car and just land on the ground? I mean, it's like, it's just miserable. The man is like a rag doll. I mean, you try jumping a street Camaro over a house and just landing on the ground and then getting out and being like, yay, yay. It's just, he's a great guy. And I just love the way also how dead seriously the That's Incredible announcers announce this as if it's like some scientific kind of thing. They're like razor thin margin of error, like they're, you know, doing cold fusion or something.
And then he said 10,000 horsepower. Didn't he say something like that?
Yeah, he put a rocket car. This is the problem. When he jumped his last jump that killed him, he had already done the jump in a rocket car. Like he tried it once and he didn't put enough fuel in, so the car went in the lake. It wasn't even a lake. It was just this like pond it was like he was at a racetrack. All right, this is how Ken died. And eventually we'll show you if you guys can take it. We might not show it, but it's on video, him dying. I mean, it's not graphic. It's just he lands on the roof of the car. The first time he tried to jump, he was at the racetrack trying to like rent it to do his regular stunt show. And then he saw this pond that was by the racetrack that was just a pond. And he was like, I want to jump that pond. And the racetrack owner was like, okay, I don't care. You know, it's not even really a pond. It's just sort of a drainage ditch. He's like, yeah, I want to jump that. So he's like, okay, go ahead. So he tries to jump it, but the car goes in the water. And Ken can't swim. So he's rescued by these divers. And they pull him out, and before they basically can even dry him off, he says, I'll be back on Labor Day to do this again and make it. And the racetrack owner is like, he didn't tell me anything about this Labor Day jump. He just popped out and said that. So I looked at my schedule and I said, I guess so, you know. But I mean, seriously, the man is near death. He can't swim. He's underwater in a car. And all he's thinking about is like, well, I guess I could do it Labor Day. So he's drowning and thinking about like how to redo it because he's so mad he ended up. So here's what he did. And this is the saddest thing. He put too much rocket fuel in because he was afraid he wasn't going to clear the pond again. And he put so much rocket fuel in that he almost went, I mean, he went up past the tree line. He went so far up in the air that
he just went straight up.
The car went all the way. I don't know the car went all the way over. It cleared the pond, but then it kept going. And then it finally just, the momentum carried the car just like over itself. And he landed directly on the roof. Like way way past the pond. Like, I mean, he cleared the pond, so he would have been happy. I'm sure he was happy, but then I'm sure he was like, oh, fuck, I cleared the pond all right. I'm about to go into orbit.
I want to meet the guy that sold Ken Carter the rocket engines. Because, I mean, that was a dirty trick. He would have been much safer if he just drove as fast as he could instead of putting a rocket in there.
Well, I think the problem was that Ken was very enthusiastic, and I think he made people's better judgment go out the window because he convinced them that these things were good ideas. He's like, I think that was how the initial conversation probably went. They were like, I'm not building you a rocket to put in a streetcar. You out of your damn mind? And he's like, well, I mean, you got to look at it this way. I have a lot of energy and good attitude. They were like, well, I guess I can put it in there.
Did you see him handle the throttle? He's like, this is what unleashes the power.
The go? What was it? The go lever or the go trigger? I just love it. I love it so much. Is it too late for me to be a stuntman? I think it is. I'm too rickety. Because Ken was talking about when we eventually watch Devil at Your Heels, which is the feature that I'm hoping to do like at Carnegie Hall if this podcast gets big enough. We'll watch it all together, and everyone who's in the Power Directors right now can be in the VIP section at Carnegie Hall when we do this, probably in like 6 months. In that movie, what was I talking about? I don't even remember. I got so caught up in my Carnegie Hall fantasy.
We're talking about the go switch, the go throttle.
Oh yeah, the go switch. I don't even remember, but he in the documentary you get to see more in depth about how he got all these designers in on this stuff, and
yeah, and of course his mentor shows up and tells him to call it off.
Yeah,
I mean, one of the things that obviously Mad Canadian he should not have had Evil Knievel as his mentor. It was a horrible combination.
No, because Evil Knievel, people think Evil Knievel was fearless because he was like daring, but he was fearless because he was a psychopath.
And he was
like a clinical.
He at least had some strategy. Ken Carter is all about the fans.
Yeah, Ken Carter was just like, yeah. I mean, as soon as he landed in that lake, he was like, I got to do this again. Evil Knievel will be like, you people fucking paid to see me fall in a lake, and that's the end of that. I'm never doing that again.
Right.
You out of your fucking mind? I almost died. Ken's like, I'm sorry. That's the first thing Evil Knievel would never say he was sorry. He'd be like, you're lucky to have witnessed that. I almost died. So everyone should have sex with me now. And Ken Carter's like, the first thing he says when he comes out of the lake after nearly dying is, I'm sorry, I'll do it again on and that I can relate to. That's me. I'm always,
he's Evil Knievel with empathy. That was the problem.
Yeah, he has no boundaries. He's Evil Knievel with no boundaries. Evil Knievel had boundaries because he's a goddamn psychopath. Psychopaths have great boundaries. They have zero empathy. So they're like, no. People with no boundaries are like, I guess, yeah, I'll do it again. Well, we did it.
Miss Mellis 420, who writes the insurance policy on this shit?
Well, probably that fucking Gecko guy. No, they hadn't invented that guy yet. Probably back then, probably was no insurance. I bet there was no insurance. 1970, 1980. I mean, I think it was every man for himself. Back then, like cars were always going off the track at car races, like NASCAR races, and like cutting everybody's heads off. And I think they were just like, too bad.
Galaxy of Prawns. Wow. So,
yeah, we're all like, oh, what's that? That their haircut lost 4 Super Bowls. That's what
That's
okay.
Master John Burr.
He's talking about Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah.
Fran Tarkenton was what team was he on?
Minnesota
Vikings.
Yeah.
I remember that from being a kid that he was on the Vikings.
Yeah. Who was that guy with the hairdo? What's his name? The third host on That's Incredible.
Oh, that was John Davidson. He was a singer.
Oh, okay. So he was not an athlete.
An actor, no. And John Davidson was performing at the Beverly Hills Supper Club in I believe it's in Pennsylvania somewhere, or it might be upstate New York, when it burned, and it was like the biggest fire. Like 70 people got killed, and John Davidson was singing at that time at that nightclub when it burned in the early 70s before he was on That's Incredible. So if anyone knows, maybe we'll talk about the Beverly Hills nightclub fire sometime. But I don't want to get too morbid on this thing. I'm fine with morbid stuff because I'm just like,
John Davidson's still alive. He looks
yeah,
horrible.
he does. He looks horrible.
Yeah. He looks like Fred, the actor who just died, the comic actor. But,
What else is happening on here? Who writes the insurance policy? Oh, they're still on that one. Okay, that their haircut cost 4 Super Bowls. Fran Tarkington, Minnesota Vikings, dipshit quarterback. I love Master John Burr's mad about sports that happened before he was born. I mean, how does this? That's why I don't understand sports. Like, how can you be mad at? Who cares about Fran Tarkington? I don't even care anyway. He can throw a ball good. Fuck that guy.
we should talk about our handles, right? You can find Chris's Twitter's at the Crofton Show. Your Patreon is what?
Correct. My Patreon is what? My Patreon is Patreon / Chris Crofton, www something. No, it's www.patreon.com / Chris Crofton. And you can go there, and I'm going to try and be better about putting up more stuff. And I will. I certainly will. I just haven't been doing anything. It's a great Patreon. I don't know why I have to put everything down. It's fine. There's some shit on there.
Yeah, Tire Shop. Check out that track.
Yeah, the Tire Shop's on there. Never released another song, 2 unreleased songs on there, and a couple of podcasts that have never been released. Our Lightning 100 pilot podcast. But I do intend to put some more stuff up on there more regularly. I really have been kind of, I've gotten back to work at the wine bar where I work. And man, I'm too old for that shit. So I worked Saturday, Sunday, and I just was wiped out. Like, I mean, I could not function. I was so tired. It's an hour each way for me to get there. And it's an 8.5-hour day with no break. So it's a 10.5-hour day times 2. And yesterday I felt like fucking garbage. And I, that's why you got to give me canaries as soon as possible, because I'm on the way out.
Well, that moonshot on Topanga Beach, whatever, that was worth it all. It was a great shot. You can see it on Instagram.
Thank you. That was last night. I went to my friend Jenny O. It was her birthday, and the musician Jim James, and we went to the beach to celebrate. And they had built a fire down there. And I gave Jim James a Bee Gees record called Main Course, which is one of my favorite. By the way, Jim James is my only giant celebrity friend, so it's not like I'm going to start dropping any more names on you. I'm sorry about that. But I do happen to know Jim. He played on my last record, and he plays on the new record too. But he played on Hello It's Me, which you can find on Spotify. Hello It's Me. You can buy it off of Bandcamp. It's my record, my first solo record that came out in 2018.
Yeah, he plays on UFO Hunters.
So yeah, I gave him the Bee Gees album Main Course, and I gave Jenny O. I gave her the Stephen Bishop album Careless. Both a couple of my favorite records. And anyway,
is it UFO Hunter, right? Not Hunters, is it?
It's UFO Hunters.
Okay, Hunters. All right, one more thing from the chat room. If everyone here paid $5 per weekly podcast, they would almost be at the top Patreon level. So that's from Miss Happy Sunshine. It's a little encouragement there.
If everyone here paid $5 per weekly podcast, they would. Oh yeah, so you could. $5 is a lot for this podcast, though. I feel like it was only worth $3.50.
Introduction to Ken Carter, and That's Incredible.
Okay, that's all right. It's worth $7. Everyone mail me $7 in an envelope, and I will give you all my goodwill.
And thanks, Eric, for Eric, our engineer, for making it all happen.
Yeah, and you can follow me at The Crofton Show on Twitter and at The Crofton Show on Instagram. And thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, and we will see you soon. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Eric, so much. Thanks, John Burr.
Good night.
Hello, it's me.